Die, but do not retreat. Nobody respects a country with a poor army, but everybody respects a country with a good army. I raise my toast to the Finnish army. We, USSR and USA, can exist peacefully together if we don't indulge in too much mutual fault-finding in all kinds of trifles. How do you expect the Germans to revolt when they don't even dare walk on the grass? The Red Army and Navy and the whole Soviet people must fight for every inch of Soviet soil. Fight to the last drop of blood for our towns and villages, onward to victory. The leaders come and go, but the people remain. Only the people are immortal. These diplomats, what chatterboxes! There's only one way to shut them up, cut them down with machine guns. Bulgarian, go and get me one. You do not lament the loss of hair of one who has been beheaded. After communism succeeds, then there will come a peace across the earth. Do you remember the Tsar? Well, I'm like a Tsar. In war, I would deal with the devil and his grandmother. The United States should get rid of its militias. The Jews are not a nation. Obviously these white guard émigrés enjoy the right of asylum, existing also in the US. So far as we are concerned, we would never tolerate a single terrorist in our territory regardless against whom he would contemplate his crimes. Apparently the right of asylum receives broader interpretation in the USA than in our country. Remember how the First World War broke out? It broke out as a result of the desire to redivide the world. In the future, there will be fewer but better Russians. Is it possible, then, to doubt that we can and must gain victory over the German invaders? The enemy is not as strong as some terror-stricken pseudo-intellectuals picture him. The devil is not as terrible as he is painted. I know that after my death, a pile of rubbish will be heaped on my grave, but the wind of history will sooner or later sweep it away without mercy. There is not, nor should there be, an irreconcilable contrast between the individual and the collective, between the interests of an individual person and the interests of the collective. Words are one thing, deeds, something entirely different. Fine words are a mask to cover shady deeds. Advance towards socialism cannot but cause the exploiting elements to resist the advance, and the resistance of the exploiters cannot but lead to the inevitable sharpening of the class struggle. There are on occasions, as we know, when resources are abundant, but they are expended so incompetently that the advantage is nullified. I am not a millionaire son, but I make my son become the millionaire son. By Joseph Stalin. We do not want a single foot of foreign territory, but of our territory we shall not surrender a single inch to anyone. There are no fortresses that Bolsheviks cannot storm. There is talk of our constructing Dnipro through our own means. The means needed are great, several hundred millions. Let us not get into the position of the peasant, who after accumulating a nest egg, instead of repairing his plow and renewing his equipment, buys a gramophone and goes bankrupt. We believe that the anarchists are real enemies of Marxism. To assert that we desire to bring about revolution in other countries by interfering with their lives is to speak of something which does not exist, and which we never preach. If Stalin was such a bad guy, why do all these people attribute to him quotes he didn't make or change his actual quotes? Just enough to make them seem bad. Seem bad rather than visionary. It is difficult to say which is more menacing. But both of points of war danger Japan and Germany exist, and both are smoldering. In comparison with these two principal focal points of the war danger, the Italo-Ethiopian War represents an episode